Hari Om. Namaste, everyone. We have a wonderful person with us. He is joining with us today. He is PRASADH Naveen. Hari Om, sir. Welcome to our forum today. Yeah. Before
Hari Om
that,
Kalyani.
let me introduce, let me read about something about him. It's really inspiring. So, PRASADH Naveen, apart from being a facilitator, psychotherapist, and a guide to many people in self-mastery and development. He's also a yoga, karate, mandala, and yantra practitioner. He's also a father, son, husband, friend, teacher, and an adventure lover. He goes into that wild trekking regularly and loves to be in that forest. He also practices meditation and expands its dynamically to various aspects and scenarios of life, daily life. Is passionate about using any aspects of life as a meditation. Wow. Lives and the life of a sadhak and attends to his dharma. During his earlier days, he has been a sportsman. He played for a Kerala cricket team and that university team for almost 6 years. As a businessman, CEO, and a director of a software development company, he has worked in the field of software development. He has also worked as a project manager, system analyst, and system integrator for various large-scale companies and organizations based on large chain delivery functionality and manufacturing segments. He has worked with the United Nations also, and has been the director board of several private sector technoparks and large-scale organizations. Has been a student of shadow integration from the direct disciples of Carl Jung. He done his NLP Gestalt, psychodrama, dance movement, art and expressive therapy, and TA certification. Has been certified by IIT Madras in conducting coaching from the depth workshops. He has been a disciple and a passionate learner of Eastern spirituality and has been practicing meditation and various tantric and Advaita structures, tools and techniques to dive deeper into the being. He has learned Bhagavad Gita, Kaivalya Upanishads from Chinmaya International, various meditations and yogic practices from Swami Rama's ashram, Sadhana Mandir at Rishikesh. He loves to visit Haridwar, Rishikesh, and up to the mountain in search of that mystical knowledge which supports human evolution. He also conducts and participated in white paper rafting, expedition with ranges from 4 to 7 days in the rafting down the Himalayan ranges. He facilitates various adventurous, advanced awareness, creativity and idea development and self-mastery programs at Pavitram, Coimbatore. Lots of programs like Sways, Shadow Lab, Dara Yantram. And of course, we are going to ask more questions to him, which he is going to give a clear details on that. He also conducted meditation and silence program at Pavitram. He has supported more than 400 people at various long-term and short-term workshops and at individual and group therapists at Pavitram. He conducted personal groups and family therapy sessions, both at Pavitram and online. Even now it's offline. Online off. It's not possible with offline. So everything is online now. So adventure and trips have been a part of the most of the long-term programs at Pavitram. Every year at Pavitram, all the people who are attending the program gather together to celebrate the journey and joy of togetherness. This festival is called Mandala Festival. I really enjoyed that program very well, that festival and all. Even myself, daughter were attended and we had a very great time there. I'm longing to attend lots of his course, hereafter. It's a festival for joy, happiness, togetherness, and facilitate learning through sharing. One of his passion in life is to do that sadhana given by his guru and expand into that vastness as directed to him by the spirit he is devoted to. Wow, excellent. This is not enough to talk about him. There are lots of so many things we are going to going to get answer by interacting and asking questions to him. Namaste, Prasad Navinji. Please introduce yourself. I took much of your time because it's my duty to introduce you to my people so that they will get to know who you are and what's your potential and all. So, could you please introduce yourself and let us know how you got into this field?
Yeah, I'm basically from Cochin. Basically from Cochin. I'm born in a uh, Gauda Saraswat Brahmin family. We speak Konkani at home. We speak Konkani at home. So we speak Konkani at home. I've learned Malayalam because I'm from Kerala. And over a period of time, I shifted to Coimbatore. Then I had to learn Tamil for actually talking to people. Rather, people taught me Tamil. Whosoever comes to meet me, they started teaching me Tamil. So I started learning Tamil from them. Uh, I have stayed in North India quite a lot, so I speak Hindi also a little bit. Not little bit, I can fairly understand. I speak
Multilingual
English
personality.
very well in the sense, yeah. That's another side which I'm not told which I'm not told anywhere. Like quite a lot of languages is something which is very much happening in my head. So morning when I get up from the bed, if I have to talk to somebody, I have to wait for some time for some language to come up. It's first language that comes up will be like it'll be like if I get frightened and all, the first thing that comes up is I won't even there won't be even a language that is coming out of my mouth.
So this is why
There'll
you
be
have
only
lots
just
of so
sounds
many
coming out.
language in your
So
mind. Yeah.
yeah, so the processing in the brain happens only after quite some time because the orientation takes some time. So here, because it's English now, I'm oriented towards English, and it is very well. This journey started off basically. I started off this journey at the age of 33. I'm around 53 now.
Okay.
At the age of 33, I got so confused. I had money, I had richness, material richness was all there. I had good business running. I had around 45 employees working under me. I had software development company. I had my partner, I was married, I had my son. um, Everything was fine, but there was some kind of dissatisfaction inside. I really did not know what this dissatisfaction was. And this dissatisfaction, as it went on, it started becoming so much. It was eating me up, actually. Like I was not, every time felt that I was becoming very complacent and very lazy as such, basically because things were happening on itself, and everything was taken care of. So one day, what happened was I started understanding that I built up something, and in 5 years' time, I will crash it and move on to something else. So I was not actually stretching myself and building something up on a long term. I was building things on a short term, then going into something else and building another thing on a short term. So it was going on like that, and I had a strong urge saying that this was not me. This businessman, this IT developer, this software developer is not me. Something was bothering me all the time, even though I was very successful in that. But the satisfaction was not there. So one day when things started going up and down inside me, and I started fighting with my family, I started fighting with my partner in the company, I started fighting with the employees in the company. I was getting angry for no reason. I did not know why I was getting angry. Then I said, I thought it was time for me to take a break. So I took a break from my work. I took a break from Cochin. I took a break from my family. I went and told my family that I was going through all these things. Luckily, my wife and my son was too good to me, saying that yes, please go. And with their permission, and with my father's and mother's permission, I set out on the journey to actually find myself.
Wow.
And like in olden times, people set out on journey uh, to find themselves. Like in olden times, I also set out. I was thinking that I will find I'll find me somewhere. Like somebody will tell me about me, and I set out. And then I came to Coimbatore. I had given up money and all at that time. I was not having any money at all. I had decided that I will not work. If the universe wants to keep me alive, let it keep me alive. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to earn anything. So surprisingly, what happened was, even though I did not have money, even though I did not, I had not, I have decided that I will not contact any of my friends also. So it was a kind of craziness actually. It was kind of craziness. Um, but that craziness had some meaning somewhere. I knew it that there was some meaning somewhere that drove me. And when I reached Coimbatore, actually what happened was, while I was going to have food, and while I was actually walking around on the roads, one or two people actually met me, and they found that I don't know what they found in me, but they started taking care of me. I really don't know what happened. Surprisingly, I have people who used to take care of me without asking any questions at all. They used to give me breakfast. They used to give me a space to say. They used to give me a space to explore. It was, I don't know how it happened to me, but I was very lucky enough that the universe completely gave itself to actually take care of me. And I found that it is not me that is keeping me alive. It is the entire environment together is working to actually keep me alive. I kept on going like that. I went to Rishikesh, I went to Haridwar, I came back to Coimbatore, I stayed there. Still, people were taking care of me. People were paying me for my travel. People were coming to me, and I was not giving them any knowledge at all. I was, as days went by, I started feeling that I'm becoming a burden to them. But they were very happy, smilingly, they would come and actually take care of me. Like that, almost like 8 years passed, 8 to 9 years passed like that. And I started feeling very guilty as to like a small child. I was living out of them, and every day they used to take care of me. On one side there was a lot of guilt, and on the other side uh, there was a feeling that I was not doing anything for them. uh, so somewhere, when I was going through all these process, that is when I met my guru actually. She's a lady, she's a housewife. um, I met her online. Luckily, in a few days' time, I got initiated. That is when the whole process started. The whole process started. I started meditating. By then, I had reached, because I was not doing any work. I was very idle. I had reached a peak of almost all diseases. All diseases in the sense, um, it was almost like I had given up on life. I had arthritis at that time. I had depression at that time. I used to get up only in the afternoon around 1 o'clock, and I used to sleep for long, long hours. I used to just come out, go for a movie, go back, sleep. So for 8, 9 years, when a person does this, the entire body, the entire mind, entire structure, creativity, everything goes for a toss, and there is no direction also. So nothing falls in place. So when I was initiated. Um, I had told, when she asked me what is happening to you, Prasad, I had told, like, internally I'm feeling very silent, and externally I'm feeling a lot of things happening. She said, Prasad, be aware, Prasad. Internally, a lot of things is happening, and externally, nothing is happening. So that was a switch. That was something which actually changed my thought process. That is when I started turning inwards. For the first time, I started turning inwards, and I started understanding that, oh, it is inside that everything is happening. Nothing outside is happening. So nobody is getting any benefit of me. I am taking benefit from everybody, and I am sitting there. So that is why all these diseases have started coming out from the body, which was, I was jealous of people. I was messing up with all the relationships. I was always angry. I had my creativity and all has been lost. I was not drawing. I was not telling stories. I was not being alive to any emotions. I was just mechanical, very mechanically leading life and just going on. I don't even have to earn also. No, I don't have a destination. When I come out of the room, I don't know where to go. I don't know who to talk to. So there was something called a switch that happened inside me at that particular point of time. From there, it started journey, and slowly I started sitting in meditation. It was very difficult for me to sit in meditation. For 2 minutes, if I sit, my knees and all will start paining because of my arthritis. So, but then somewhere I was very determined. I was very determined that I will go with this, and I started sitting in meditation. I'll cry, but I'll sit there. So then one day, once I started getting grip, and once I started, then there was something in me that said, I need to stick on to what my duties are in life. So then I started learning about Dharma, and then I started understanding that I need to do my duties. I'm not a monk because I am married. So my Dharma is basically to earn and protect my wife and child. So that when I started meditating, after 2 or 3 years of intense meditation, I had lost almost 20 kilos of weight by that time. 20 kilos of weight, and my arthritis had all have disappeared, and my mind has started becoming clear, and I started singing, I started dancing, I started drawing, I started talking to people nicely. All that started happening, and one day my guru told me actually to go back home. So after a long 13-14 years, I went back home, and that is the time I could literally feel the joy of living life. And that is exactly what I'm bringing out through the programs. All the programs, what we do, one of the first programs that we put in Pavitram was basically, it was called a switch. It was based on this particular switch that happened inside me. So that's my journey, and I'm still, yes, that is what is switch.
Okay.
And it is a switch between, chaos. It is a switch. It is a switch between chaos and clarity. It is a switch between fragmented way of living and actually an orderly way of living. It is a switch between non-creative thing and a very creative thing. It's a switch between no awareness and living with ignorance, and living with awareness. It is a switch between living for the environment, living for everything else, where you don't take care of yourself. It's a switch between that to living your life fully and in connection with the nature. So that's what we do in the switch programs, and the switch programs is actually a 4-year program. 4-year program, and it expands for every month. One day we'll have to meet and then continue the journey. So we have made it as level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and it's pretty intense. When it reaches the 4th year and all, the intensity will be very high. So this is my journey, Kalyani, from a very active personality to a very very withdrawn personality. I was frightened of everything when I was withdrawn and sitting in that room. I was angry about everything. That I was angry that nobody was calling me. Nobody was calling me because I had no potential at all. How would anybody call me? So I was not giving a chance for anybody to call me, nor was I calling me because I was very angry at them. So all those things were, it was of use only to understand myself. It was of no use to actually live life. So that's how things started. And luckily for me, when my guru initiated me, she had initiated a few other people also. So I started getting a family which was based on awareness, which was based on going forward and dealing with life and understanding the problems of life, and doing it in such a way that at the end we understand what joy is and actually live life with joy, not with other things actually. Even I'll become sad, that's all fine, but the whole point is the sadness is telling me that there is something which I don't like, there is something which I expected and something else has happened. So sadness, anger, irritation, jealousy, shame and all have become a kind of an indication for me to actually live life. But life has become very joyous.
Yeah.
And now I understood that the environment is going to help me, even if I want, even if I don't want. If there is a purpose for the nature to keep us alive, it will keep us alive.
Yes, yes.
So, and I understood that my nature was actually to do these programs and give awareness and information, support people to develop their own awareness, support people to develop their own healing, support people to develop their own creativity, support people to develop their own voice and expression and things like that, support people to actually have their own intelligence, and then support people to actually from intelligence to go into intuition. So all these things were understood basically because of my own experiences in life.
Yeah, we have to thank
And
Prasad ji. Life has
yeah,
given you that richness of different experiences. With that experience, you have developed so many programs who are not only you have enlightened yourself, and you are enlightening so many souls and peoples around you. That is what the great thing to know about you. See,
yeah.
Prasad ji, in what way you started Pavitram, then Coimbatore? So what are the activity you started doing with your own richness of your experience and all? So what is that origin? It's kind of working,
Okay.
and let us know about this, Prashad ji.
Yeah. Pavitram is basically very precious for us. It is named after our guru actually. So Pavitram is as good as saying it is divine.
Yes.
It is very divine. It is very divine.
Purity, divine.
The purpose, yeah, purity and divinity. The purpose behind creating any divine entity and worshipping it is so that it reflects our own action back to us. We can go and tell anything to a god, idol in the temple, but if we are able to, when how much ever we pray, our prayer is going into our unconscious. So the purpose behind divinity is basically we worship it. Basically, we become devoted to it because our devotion, our emotion, and devotion and love needs to develop.
Yes, exactly.
So the purpose behind the karma yoga is basically our ability to do the karma without looking forward for results. Our doing, focusing on our doing and enhancing our doing is what we are trying to do. So Pavitram is a place where it mirrors back people to them, and it helps them to build awareness. So that is Pavitram is not a ego-based entity where we have to make a lot of profits. So many people have to come. So many things have to be done. Absolutely no rules like that. Whosoever comes here, they are fully themselves, and we mirror them back to themselves, and we show them what they do not know about themselves, and that really helps them to actually analyze, choose, structure themselves, order themselves up, individuate themselves, become aware, become spontaneous, restructure themselves. All those things happen.
Wow.
So we mirror them back to themselves,
Awesome.
and
Mirror them back.
thereby what. Yes. And what happens is it is their choice that leads them to a higher level.
Yes, of course.
So a higher level of living, when they actually go into the higher level of living, what happens is, as the Vedic books have told, as the Vedic books have charted out, as the Vedic books have put down in our culture, whenever they go higher and higher, they start taking knowledge from the nature. And in the nature, our culture is already built. Sanatana Dharma is already built there.
Yes.
So they start connecting with it and they start rising up to that level. So only thing that we need to do is basically mirror themselves back to them and basically show them the path which I have walked.
Wow.
So so all these path, this path what I walked is, this path which I walked is basically redirected from my guru.
Okay.
And all the gurus who are around. It's not just one person, but all these gurus who who have taken a physical human form have redirected me. So some of the gurus who have redirected me have redirected me after their physical death also.
Okay. Okay.
So a lot of information has come from a lot of spirits uh, which even after their death, their disciples are carrying it across. Their books are carrying it across.
Yes. Yes.
Their Shruti is carrying it across.
Yes.
From
Yes.
one year to another year, it is carrying it across. So it has reached me basically because the nature wants me to do this particular type of work.
Yes.
So it is not me who has decided this type of work. It is the nature who has given it.
Yes.
It is the nature who has given it, and it is the nature who has developed my. When I'm born itself, my mother has given me all these intellect to interpret. My mother has given me the intellect, the structure to actually develop the creed. All that has been given there, and that is there in our DNA. So I wouldn't call anything as mine, but there is a particular type of uniqueness which is there. Because of this combination, some kind of uniqueness has come in me, and based on that uniqueness, everything is distributed from here.
Wow. Wow.
And for supporting this uniqueness for 13 years, I was taken care by the environment only.
Yes.
I was given the raw material by the environment. I was given the knowledge by the environment.
Yes.
I was given the transformative capacity by the environment. I was given the transformative time by the environment. After I transformed, then it started sending me people. Okay, now that you have transformed, now help them also. So sometimes I really don't know what my job is, but I'm just doing what the nature has given me.
Wow. 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 Beautiful.
My job would be to just be there, be there, just continue the journey along with this. And whatever the joy it comes, I'm just the bee who actually keeps sucking the nectar. The flower is actually, flower in me is actually developed by the nature. The flower, if it is beautiful, if it has a fragrance, if it has a texture, if it has something, it is by the fertilizer, it is by the sun, it is by the soil that has come through the plant, and then it has come as a beautiful flower. And it has gone through its journey of thunderstorms, it has gone through its journey of wind, heavy rainfall. It has gone through all that, but all these it went through basically to develop something like this, and it is God's grace. That is all I can say.
Exactly. Yes, of course. Prasad ji, I have heard that you have.
So Pavitram is a place which, sorry.
Yeah.
Pavitram is a place which actually spreads this fragrance and essence and shows a mirror to people.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. There you have lots of, I have heard that you have lots of different programs, to mirror them back in the name of Swiss and Shadow Lab, Mandala's basic program, Mandala's advanced program, Dara Yantram and, Bala Patasala and so many things. Could you please explain, a little bit about each and every topics, what you are doing and how it is going to work, and yeah, let us know about it, whether it is possible. Even if we want to join, is it possible for us to join online now? What are the fee structure and everything, so that we will have an idea on that. I strongly believe that, I know that the program designed by you, how it will be, because personally I had been with you and I had seen your lots of programs along with my friends and relatives. So really superb. So I would like to spread this thing, the beautiful concept of realizing our oneself to my people here around. So let us know about this thing.
Right. Okay. I'll talk about a few programs because talking about all the programs will take a lot of time.
Okay.
I'll talk about two or three programs.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the free structure because that is what will run in people's head if they the first thing. There are three types of fee structures in Pavitram. Okay. In Pavitram, our job is basically to mirror it back to people, and people develop themselves. So it is not really right from our part to actually take money from people, because when they are doing their work and when they are going through the problems, then they are going through the situation, they are investing their time. So the knowledge which is there, it is coming from a very higher source, and it was always there ever since the universe started. So nothing of mine we spend over there. Only thing we spend over there is basically the rent for this place, the maintenance of this place, the internet what we are using, the Zoom charges what we are paying, all that. Those are the things which are available. So 70% of the programs are basically run without the fees.
Okay.
70% of them. So 70% of them, in the sense, most of the time there will be something like a 3-hour program or a short program for a 3-hour into 5 sessions. Those are programs which will be totally free. Almost like 50% of the programs are actually free. The rest of the 20% program are basically pay as you wish, because there is a lot of payment what we have to do in order to run a program. For example, if I have to run a 1-month continuous meditation program on Zoom, that really there is a little bit of cost involved in it. So that particular cost we need to cover up. So we have something called as pay as you wish. So once people go through these programs, what happens is their intelligence will develop to a particular extent. They'll be very good in actually earning, stabilizing, structuring themselves, trusting themselves. They'll be very good in the Muladhara part. Once they become very good in the Muladhara part, then we charge them. So once they are good, and once they have the capacity to earn, then we don't give anything free after that. So when we don't give anything free after that, that means according to their dharma, they'll be able to earn, they'll be able to pay, they'll be able to sustain. Because they are paying, there'll be a kind of responsibility also that comes in for continuing the program and completing the program.
Yes, I agree.
So from that point onwards, we charge. We charge them, and it moves from anything from 20,000 to 1.5 lakhs because those programs are very intense. But for people who really want to be joyous, there is a program called Happiness, which was done very free of cost actually. We give them the entire science of happiness. Only thing they have to do is basically practice. So those programs, there are free programs, there are pay as you wish programs. If somebody wants to attend a meditation, it is not right from our part to actually ask for money, because meditation is something which they are doing. Why should we ask for money for whatever they are doing?
But yeah.
So
only
thing,
it shows your greatness. Yeah.
Because the universe has taken care of me.
Yes,
I can't be otherwise any which way. So what happens is, if they want to do the meditation, let them do the meditation. Doing the meditation is the first thing. Then once they start doing the meditation, once they start getting an order in the consciousness, then they'll take care of us. That's very easy actually. People are very loving, very kind, and people do take care of everyone.
Yes, actually, we all would like to meditate, and most of the time we need facilitators. We need people like you, to take us in a proper way. So that's what everywhere is happening. Meditation classes are happening everywhere, but your perseverance is something different. That meditation is happening in you. What I am doing there, why should I ask charge for that? But we need facilitators like you. So
meditation. So if you look at meditation, kind of meditation what we teach over here is basically an aspect to develop their willpower, basically an aspect to develop their structure, so that with that particular structure they will be able to access everything in the world, every kind of learning in the world. So meditation should be something which is like a rock bottom foundation for everybody. And when we are giving this rock bottom foundation, it has to be given like the plant giving its flower, so that everybody can enjoy it.
Yes, well said.
And when people's thinking start becoming good and it becomes joyous, it becomes good relationships. When everybody takes care of everybody. It's as simple as that. So when they are in their nature, they'll be good. So somewhere I've started getting support for the donations. I started getting support. I've started people calling me. I've heard people calling me and asking me, Prasad, are you okay? Are you earning? Do you want money? Do you want our support? Should we come and take care of Pavitram? Should we pay the rent of Pavitram? People ask me. So such loving attitude is coming up from everyone, not just one or two. There are hundreds of them asking. So, and one thing what I clearly do is I keep my bank account always at zero. Always by the end of the month.
One
Yeah,
bank account and karma also you keep zero.
Karma also is at zero, because whatever nature is giving me,
Yes,
I am actually everything is coming from outside, and it is just going through me, through this body, and it is coming from, everything is happening. For example, people who are paying rent, the rent of this space is paid by the people who are coming here. Why should I get involved in it?
There is no credit, there is no debit. Clear account.
There is no credit, there is no debit. And if something comes into my bank account, 08 by the end of 31st. So that what happens is I will start using my ability. I will start depending on the ability of this body. I will start depending on the ability of the knowledge. I will start depending on the ability of the relationships what I have to actually take forward my life, rather than telling that I have a bank account, I have money in the bank account, so I don't have to do anything, I can sit idle. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The way of life is basically whatever we are doing, whatever classes we are taking, the first thing that has to happen is if somebody wants to come and take classes on behalf of Pavitram. There are people who are taking classes on behalf of Pavitram. They come. There is a karate person who is taking classes. He's taking classes from a very spiritual perspective. Yeah. There is a lady who is doing dance movement therapy. Those people are taking classes on behalf of Pavitram. The first thing is they practice what they preach.
Yes. They are wonderful people.
Without practicing that, their normal way of life would be like that. That is why they are actually talking about it. And they can talk about it from their heart. Yes. Nobody will actually conduct programs from a paper over here. Yes. Everybody will conduct the programs from the heart. That is what Pavitram is all about. Yes. So Pavitram was, I came to Pavitram, I stuck on to Pavitram because Pavitram had the facility, and like anybody else, I can also sit there and meditate.
Okay.
So it's a space which helps us to actually expand our space, and it is also helping me to sit there and meditate.
Yeah. So far, how many people have got benefit out of your courses? Like, lots you have lots of courses.
The free courses, I think almost 400-500 people have actually got benefit out of the free courses. The pay as you wish also is almost like that, 400-500 people since last 3-4 years. The paid courses, something around 240 to 250 people have.
What courses they are doing, like Sado or Swiss or Mandala Advance or?
The switch is basically, I told you about switch, no?
Yeah, 4 years.
The moving from the chaotic side to a very structured side, and structured side doesn't mean that you can't be chaotic. For example, the kind of exercises what I do, I don't do this yoga based prescribed exercises, because that is not my structure. My way of doing exercises, basically I'm like a monkey inside. There is a monkey inside me. So I do something called as an animal flow. There is an exercise routine which is called as animal flow. And you can Google it. There is a lot of literature about animal flow. The animal flow is basically about, because I go into the forest, I have to bend down and go and crawl and sometimes I will have to run on top of the rock. So a kind of balancing and a kind of a kind of particular type of development is required for me. That this animal flow exercises actually support it. So for my structural exercises, I follow karate. So it is slightly different. I don't have to leave my essence to be spiritual. It is my essence that takes me into the spiritual.
Yes, yes.
So if somebody likes swimming, they can actually go for swimming. So finding that essence is the main thing that happens in Pavitram in all of the programs.
Yes, yes. I have gone through lots of testimonials
Once
from
they
your
find that
students.
essence,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
awesome, and they are really moved, and they are transformed completely. So you are touching their core in a different aspect. So for people may think it's
yes,
a journey's meditation sitting quiet, and or your karate is doing punching kind of thing. But you are touching different aspect, even different you are inculcate lots of different variations and thing from that is even from Eastern spiritual studies. No
yes,
one can touch this. No one has done this kind of collaboration to make us feel unique. I really admire the way you
yes.
work and all. Yeah, Prasad ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the Shadow Lab is all about identifying the parts of ours which we have missed, and we are not integrated within ourselves. For example, we'll be very shameful sometimes. We'll be very shameful, or we'll be very jealous. Uh, Jealousy is basically because somebody has got it what we wanted, but actually it points us towards something what we want. So there is a very positive side to jealousy, which actually tells us that, okay, this is what I want, and I can work towards it, and I can get it. But what happens in life is basically when we are children. No, we have heard a lot of voices saying that jealousy is not good, being shameful is not good, one should not get angry. So uh, lot of our parts which are developed are only parts which are approved by the society.
Yes.
But deep down inside, we will have parts which are not approved by the society, but we will be who we are. For example, the monkey which is inside me, people will think that monkey keeps jumping from one tree to another. No, it is not its job just to jump from one tree to another. But when it is going in search of food, it is going in search of food with an aim. And for that, it is ready to even jump from one tree to another without falling down. So, can you imagine how much balance and how much structure it has, and how much of vision it has to actually go and get it? And from that normal, nomadic, primitive monkey, if you look at the divine monkey, Hanuman, can you imagine how much one person can develop and become?
Amazing, amazing,
So
amazing.
even the monkey which is there inside me, if I really structure the journey of that monkey right, then I'll be totally me, as well as I'll be very spiritual, and I'll be dedicated to the divinity, whatever I want to dedicate, and I'll be happily living life. So that doesn't mean that one has to sacrifice the essence to actually become very spiritual. One has to walk through their essence to actually become spiritual. So that is what is being taught over here. How do we walk the path of our own?
Yes.
The nature has developed in us into certain things. Probably there is a monkey inside somebody, just like me. Probably there is a horse inside somebody. Probably there is a lion inside somebody. I've met people who are lion. I've met people who are foxes. Met people who are dogs. I've met people who are cats. I've met people, different type of people. But when they developed that into that, even if it is a mouse, Vinayaka is moving, Ganapati is moving on that mouse only.
Wow, wow.
So first you need to become a mouse to actually hold the Ganapati.
Yeah,
Then you become the Ganapati.
yeah, yeah. Beautifully said.
So,
Beautifully
so,
said.
so
Yes.
the whole thing is, uh, the essence of the personality
Mm.
from a very primitive nature becoming a very divine nature is the flow of the whole thing. Even for shadow, when we are born with all the divinity inside us. And what happens is over a period of time, because the environment doesn't approve or we don't approve ourselves, lot of our parts just fall off. So gathering those parts and assembling it back as a whole is what we do in Shadow Lab.
Lovely, lovely. So actually, Prashad ji, it was regret
So
so many times that I couldn't attend your all these programs because that I can't spend long times and I know staying in Coimbatore, running a school here. I have the baby program and all. But now after listening you, I'm just the baby inside me is wanna jump into that course to learn everything, and especially now it's available in online. We are all waiting. We are all waiting to
yeah,
get that course.
it is available in
We would like to know what animal
it
is
is
inside us, lion
it
or
is
mouse.
available online. Yeah, even if it is a mouse, even if it is a mouse, the person who is going to travel with you is Ganapati.
Yes,
Even
that's
if it
what.
is a lion, the person who is going to travel
Durga.
with you is going to be Durga. Yeah.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
can you imagine how blessed we'll be? Like
Yeah, exactly.
so, that is Shadow Lab, and there is a program called Dharayantram. Dharayantram is a program which is developed out of basically mandalas and chakras. Basically, the way chakras are done, the way yantras and mandalas are done. Uh, but all this is basically a sign. It's a clear science of development. It's a clear structure of development is there. So, Dharayantram is a program where mindfulness is there. How we tell ourselves to other person so that the other person can experience us fully.
Mm.
Like if I just tell you a few things which are which just our thoughts, sometimes it might not affect us. But if I tell you that there is a flower in Pavitram, it is red in color. It has got four petals, and it has got one stalk in the middle. And in that stalk, there are a lot of yellow colors are there. And exactly like Sanatana Foundation's color, the petals are of that pink color. And do you know this particular flower has traveled almost 4,000 years to keep itself alive, and it is showing up in a plant, and that flower is what we call as hibiscus.
Uh, yeah.
So when we say all that, the person actually experiences all that.
Yes.
So there is a kind of a particular kind of an approach and a story that I tell behind everything that I'm talking. So how detailed and how nicely I tell the stories is basically based on the person who is hearing me.
Yeah.
I am talking because I am at the service of the person who is hearing me.
Yeah. Well said. Mm.
So when I'm at the service of the person who is hearing me, the detailing will be very, very detailed so
Mm.
that the person can completely experience me for who I am.
Mm.
So Dharayantram is a program which actually takes a participant to actually communicate themselves very well. That is one thing. Develop, develop these various aspects of communication, then develop yourself and become so mindful that you will be able to see all these aspects. Without seeing all these aspects, we cannot tell it.
Exactly.
So all these aspects they'll be seen. And then how does these mandalas work with each of the aspect so that each of the aspect can be expanded and it keeps going up like a spiral, like a
Mm.
meru.
Mm. Yeah.
So when it keeps going up like a spiral, then what happens is just like drawing a mandala,
Mm.
you can draw the first circle first, then comes into the next circle,
Mm.
then comes in just like the image you have, the
Behind
radiance you
you.
have behind you. Yeah, it keeps expanding.
Yeah.
So basically, we start at the bindu, the silence, and the silence expanded is basically the Shakti which is all around.
Mm. Mm.
So when they move through each and every avarana, each and every circle, they keep developing.
Awesome.
So the inside out mandalas develop from the center outwards. And for people who are very spiritual, it is outside in mandalas.
Outside to
Right. So each avarana from outside is an illusion, and they slowly start developing one by living off one by one, and then they reach the bindu, and then they sit in samadhi.
Yeah.
Yes. Then they sit in samadhi. Whenever even though they are sitting in the samadhi, all their dharma will be taken care by the environment.
Yeah. Awesome. What you experienced actually.
Yes. So by way of teaching them yantras, we outside in. By way of teaching them mantras and Nehru, we take them inside out. So both the signs are taught. The spiral is basically the spin cycle of development is also taught. The spin cycle of negation is also taught. So one goes upwards and larger circles, and the other one goes larger and then becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and then it comes to a smaller circle. So that particular style of approach is taught. That's not a very easy style to actually learn. But you need to actually draw a lot. You need to contemplate a lot. You need to actually look at the process a lot to understand what is happening. So this Dharantram is basically how you communicate, how you become mindful, how these mandalas are done, what are the shadows, and how do you integrate your fallen parts. Then once you do that, then you will become big egoistic by the end of the program. When the program reaches halfway through, the ego will be full and bloated because you will be having all the knowledge. Then how do you drop the entire ego down and then get into the essence and stay in the essence so that you can allow the entire energies of the universe to flow through you? So that's basically a 2-year-old program, which is well packed, and like it takes a lot of time. There are 90 sessions online, 90 sessions of knowledge delivery online and exploration online, plus 21 sessions of meditation, plus a 7-day retreat either in Rishikesh or in Coimbatore.
Wow. Good.
So the participants, what they have to do for that program is basically, one is participate, second is build ideas based on collaboration with the group. The third one is build a research as to how these mandalas are working in their life. So there will be a lot of research. There will be a lot of integration where you integrate it, and when you are still, when all these have to work, what actions needs to be triggered at which point of time. So that will be there. You will have to journal all this. Then you will have to implement all this. You will have to practice all this. Then you will have to present it for a group of 100 people.
It's interesting. I have seen all your group people, students. They have presented very well.
Right.
They have exhibit their internal journey and outer journey like Rishikesh and rafting. Wow, it's simply amazing.
Right.
I am waiting to do all this thing with a group of people, your students. you really thank you so much, PRASADH. I think it's one hour.
You're welcome, Kalyan.
It's not enough. If you ask me to sit and listen, I can sit and listen, years together of your all that tantras and all that spiritual talks and going internal, mirroring ourselves, so many things. But still, our parents, the viewers are really lucky. They got new information, ideas. Definitely, they will follow you and they will reach you to join the course with you, PRASADH. Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kalyani. Thank you very much for the interview. Thank you very much for helping me to communicate this knowledge to the people. It is coming from a higher source. If people are not there, there is no earth element, there is no gravity.
Yes.
If the rain has to come down from the top, definitely earth has to there and the gravity has to be there. Thank you very much for connecting me to the earth, and thank you very much for keeping me grounded. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.